I asked the question, why do you want to learn your Ojibwe language? Before some of you came in. And the answer was, I could teach it to my children, teach it to my kids. It's a very good question. But there is magic in that. Because there is magic in Ojibwe. There is the magic in learning. And because I'm able to still dream in Ojibwe and be able to think in Ojibwe. And I'm very fortunate I didn't go to residential school. I've never forgotten any of my language. I never had to relearn it. There's a lot of people that are learning it now, but it's a different dialect, and they come in and they try to correct me. And I say, okay, well, that's all right. No, there's no such thing as magic. And I said, well, maybe to you there isn't. But there certainly is to me. And the magic is in the people I meet every day, the things that visit me. Yesterday was a nice day for me. I went to see magic and the magic of our spirits, and when they visit us. And that is something that I relish. I usually don't tell anybody when I'm going for a sweat or any ceremonies or so, but I will share that with you because you are a part of that, because you're a part of the language. You got any comments or questions, concerns? Okay, hear somebody thinking, I came here to learn a language. Questions? Any questions at all? The only dumb question is the one not answered, not asked. A lot of times, language teachers, they don't talk about body language, which is very important. Body language is very important because the language that we have as an Anishinaabe is totally different than English. We do things like go over it, sure, we do all kinds of language, and we're able to understand it even before it happens. We have hundreds of, I guess you could call reflex actions that hit the brain and become reflex, and so forth. We have the facial eye expression. If you instead of sending your kid to a child psychologist and everything, all you have to do is give them that look. You save lots of money because the child will immediately know what the heck he has to know. His chakras will line up instantly. His ears are wide open, fly. All kinds of things happen. And all you have to do is take off your glasses, do that look. Science tells us that we store our knowledge in a certain place. That means when somebody asks you a very sacred question, usually you look up and somebody asks you a question that kind of embarrasses you, kind of look down, think about your question because that's where you put it. And they ask you a question that kind of makes you feel guilty, so you'll, So you can always tell when somebody's at what mood somebody's in by where they look when you ask them a question, because they know where they store it. And there's a name for it in English, but right now I forgot it. Would you know what that is, Kevin? It's in there, but I try to search for it. we call it ice searching. There's a course that I walked in on, and they were talking about that. And I believe that because you can't turn your eyes inward to find out what's in there. You know, you have to. What's over there? No, before that. Can't look inside your head. So I believe that we do have storage compartments. What we put together. If I had you sitting here and saying those words correctly for about 3 hours, tomorrow you would have a sore face. Because when you're learning a new language, you're moving different muscles. And you're breathing differently. Like me, I have a hard time breathing as it is, but smoke some more. But you learn to be able to say certain words using your nose and your mouth, and that's what it's about today. You have different body movements. You have different ways of looking with your eyes. You have a different way of storing your information, and you have a different energy. I've kind of experimented with that, asking somebody a question, and watch out for the energy. Watch how their aura changes color. How many here can see their auras? How many of you can see auras here? You? Yes. Good. Anybody else? Well, the answer to that is you all can see auras. Every one of you. You can see auras. If you wanted to practice that, go sit in front of a fire at night and stare about that far up above a flame. When you see a flame, put your eyes about that far off that. And then the next day, when you look at the person, but be looking that way, but use your peripheral vision and look to the side, and you'll see the person's aura. We all can see auras. Your eyes will notice it, but your brain will say, no, that's impossible. You can't do that. Your brain will always lead you away until you teach your brain to see that. That's what you're doing. Stare at the fire. So for me, the magic of the language that I experienced in all kinds of ways. I worked in a prison for quite a number of years, and I never had an incident. 22 years working in a very violent place. If a riot would ever happen with Anishinaabe people inside a prison, and it's happened, it is one of the most dangerous and one of the most scariest places you'd ever be. They rock and roll. Because we're a minority. We have no way outside of there to get help. No help. So you've already thrown all your nickels into that bag, and there's no backing out. So it's a really scary place. So I've been asked to go into a prison yard or a prison range. I have to slow people down. And most of them, they barely remember their language. They know some words. Some of them know their language, and so forth. But everybody's still carrying that language in their DNA. When we talk about the memories of our ancestors, we are talking about the DNA memories within our DNA. Some of our knowledge that we practiced for years is encoded right into our DNA. So when they talk about the memories of our ancestors, that is what they're talking about. And I've been able to prove that by walking into a place that's ready to bust out into a riot. And I've had said, hey, Bineshiihns, Bineshiihns. And somebody will start to laugh. I say, oh, we must common. Then people will laugh. That person will say something, we must common, which literally means that we're going to stampede. So everybody can see the picture, a whole bunch of guys stampeding. And then the laugh comes out. Because not only do we speak the language, we also think in the language. Some of us are very good storytellers. We're very good carpenters, carvers. We're very good painters. We can tell really, really wonderful stories because we look at the picture and we describe the picture. We look at the picture and then we paint the picture. We do the sketching and we put in the sketching of what we see in our mind's eye. Other people have to go to special programs to learn how to do memories with the smell of leather, all kinds of tricks. To us, it's automatic. It's an automatic thing. And with that, when I say Bineshiihns, again, I've asked an empowering question. What's happening to you? What's happening to you? The guards have been going up and stalking around up and down. What's wrong with you guys? Wrong response. Totally wrong response. Because again, we are wrong. How did they figure that out? That is the language inside. To anybody. If I were to walk up to you and say, what's wrong with you? I'd put you in a position right off the hop. If I walk up to you and say, Bineshiihns, what's happening to you? It's a totally different question. So that is why one of my hopes to teach you a language where you experience a totally different response in your life. When you respond to some of the negativeness that's coming along, when you can speak a couple of words and you totally bring everybody's energy right up. I go to a place like Atikameksheng, up there, West Bay, Saginaw. All I have to do is say a couple of words. And Ani, Bineshiihns. That's my topic today. Any comments or questions? I'm gonna have to hire a heckler or something. Geez. How's your holidays? Okay, I guess we'll start off with the words now. Today we're learning some of the nasal sounds. That's the only thing that's common here. And also, again, most of these words are, because they are of small things, of things with likable objectiveness. They are something that'll bring you up. So repeat after me, everybody. Gwiiwzehns. Gwiiwzehns. Kwezehns. Did you get a, yeah, you did. Okay. You did finally? Yes. Okay, great. Mikoohns, Nimoohns, Nimoohns. Mikoohns, Mdimoohnyehns, 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 Daabaanehns, Bineshiihns. All you have to do is use the nasal sound at the end and use both your nose and your mouth, and you'll come up with that word. Bineshiihns. Wesiihns, Moozoohns. Okay. Who would like to try the list on their own? I promise you, your face won't be sore tomorrow.
I can try the last one.
Okay.
Is it Moozoohns?
Moozoohns. Yeah.
Moozoohns.
Moozoohns. Anybody else? Don't be afraid of making a mistake. The worst that can happen is I'm going to laugh at
Yes. Thank you.
you. Believe it or not, some people have never gone back to a classroom where they're teaching Ojibwe because the teacher laughed. And that's, I tried to warn you before so that you're naturally cute because you're trying to do something and you haven't perfected it yet. There's nothing wrong with that. The fact that you're brave enough to try something, first time I ever jumped off a diving board, everybody laughed. And the other guy that came behind me was a perfect diver. Guess what? Nobody laughed. One more time, I guess. Gwiiwzehns, Kwezehns, Nimoohns, Mdimoohnyehns. That's perfect. The Daabaanehns, Bineshiihns, Wesiihns, Moozoohns. Okay. Now, does anybody want to try that in their own? All right.
I said, but I knew them, but it's just a little different.
Oh, yeah. How do you know them?
Well, they're almost the same, but we have different models.
Oh, yeah. You're involved. I don't know. I don't know anything about vowels. Even in English. I've never used that one with that vowel I should be using now. I've never had time to do that. I love to talk, but I don't know how.
How when they're spelled, they're broken up into the syllables, so they're easier to pronounce.
Okay. I can see that. I put a list of the OONHS. I put them on a separate sheet to show that what I was hoping to be able to come across with. I've also put an HS, IIHNS. I put the H after the IIs to let everybody know that it's not the Wesiihns. Wesiihns. Yeah, it's a different. This is a different.
These just mean like small.
Yeah, diminutive.
Yeah, diminutive, and then the actual, like, if it's just a regular dog, it's just Nimoosh,
Mhm.
then a small, then if you put the word, like, even baby,
Uh-huh.
Bineshiihns, because
Yeah.
it's a small child,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So the ending that east just represents,
the diminutive,
Yeah,
affectionate, much
yeah.
affectionate diminutive.
yeah, like young, like the woman, like Kwezehns is just a young girl, so like smaller.
In some
That's-
place,
Yeah,
in some places they say kwe.
yeah.
Kwe,
yeah.
kwe.
Yeah, like.
It's a, oh, woman.
Dimweh is just. Old lady, that is Dimweh.
There,
You know?
that's the difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
I hope they're listening, because that's right on. You should be able to.
we should be inanimate, and maybe we can touch base on animate and inanimate as well, especially in if it's introduction to Gwiiwzehns.
We can
I
certainly do
found
that.
that I learned easier on that, like your basic, like
That's a good idea.
upwind, the wind,
Yeah.
them, just the basics.
So if there's more than one,
Yeah, that too.
okay.
Lukunan.
Lukunan,
Upwind and.
and what else? Keep going, you're doing good. I gotta help her, guys.
Vegan on thick,
Is that,
so vegan on
should be
thick.
good on tick? Should be good on tick, that's
Or-
animate thing. Should be good on,
Vegan on thick is a pencil.
yeah, that's animate. If you say she should be good on tick wood. Yeah, it's animate, that's neat.
And commands too. touch base on commands. Basic commands,
Okay, what are they?
being again.
Indicate, yeah, there's one on every door. On the
What
much
is
start
it?
off, yeah, we come to that. There's a list of people that have it. and everything. Yeah, because that's how we learn the language, eh?
Yeah, just the basics, so then that way they can use all these, utilize them and make their own little sentences.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, because you start off with bind again, so I did bind again here. And I asked somebody, what does bind again say mean? And they said, well, I know what bind again is, so it must mean something about going inside. But bind again said means to bring wood inside. Nisse means to make wood. So bind again said means to bring in wood. And so that's how you acquire the language. Because a lot of the language that you end up with is you didn't put an effort into learning something. It just came to you because of the various songs that you were listening. And so that's what that is. Any comments or questions? What's your name? Rebecca? Oh, okay. Mikoohns. Yeah. Dominic usually sits in, but he's not here today.
I saw him.
Oh, yeah, he's in the meeting. Yeah.
Nice.
What?
Dominic.
Me tell us, yeah? Don't tell him, but I'm just kidding. I like them. Any comments, anybody? Talked about facial muscles, eye searching. The thing that I'd like to bring out today is what goes on consciously within your spirit, because that's what happens after you begin to speak the language. You start to laugh a little bit more. This summer at the camp, one of the words that stuck with us was, what was that word? What? Yeah, and there was another word. What's that? So was.
Yeah.
We Englishized Ojibwe, and we say the other word. We even say Nogije, as if we made it a good day. Yeah. The other word we learned, and nobody, I don't think anybody forgot it, was a diosh. They started using that word over there, and everybody got it. That's what everybody went home with. Diosh.
Diashin to guy.
There you go. Right in there. Any comments from anybody there? Don't be
What is
scared, I know-
what is the meaning of the last expression?
Moozoohns?
Yes.
Diash, oh. The derogative rear end.
Ah, okay.
When you're mad at somebody, Diash. That's even funny in Ojibwe. In English, not very funny. No, don't say that. The other thing also is our language, because it's related to pictures. Our language is usually a lot more funnier than English because of the picture that comes to our mind. Like back home, when the dog is totally relaxed and it's sprawled right out on the ground, they say, "Oh, Mdimoohnyehns." Mdimoohnyehns, like it's lifeless now. Died and it ended up like that. Mdimoohnyehns. Everybody laughs because that is, they can relate to that. Eventually, that's what we're going to look like. Mdimoohnyehns. Okay. That's it for today. I think we're finished. 10 more minutes. Okay. Any more comments from Zoom? Okay. I used a small animals, small things, and the next part will be on learning what is alive, what is not, what is alive, plural, singular, and some of the spiritual things. It's like when you don't know the difference between what's alive and what's not. It's almost like learning how to balance a bicycle. It's something that just innately comes to you, simply because you're using language the way you hear it. And when you say it the way you hear it, then you know it's automatically you're saying it right. It just it grows on you, sort of like my first word, I guess, was because I saw it was Booboo-jean. Booboo-jean. That was my first word after grandma. Booboo-jean. I saw Mouse running towards this little hole in the cabin. It's a Booboo-jean. I was trying to say Wabaganoojin, the way I heard the adults saying it. But to me, the fastest way to say it was Booboo-jean, because that mouse was running fast. So I had to say fast. And I think the next language, the next word I learned was Wesiihns-small, meaning I can go into the bathroom. Wesiihns-small. So those words, I learned English the same way. I went to grade 1, and I had never spoken the English word before, the English language. I heard it. There was, because it's a cabin, and because at that time, the best insulation you can get in a log cabin was cardboard. And we had a lot of cardboard because they used boxes to bring me my goodies. And as a little guy, he brought raisins, Mikoohns, carnation milk, flour. They brought everything in cardboard boxes. So we had a lot of insulation. There was one right beside my bed. My bed was about, I guess, about 6 feet long, a little bit. just across from the stove. And I traced those big words with my eyes for many nights after when I went to lay down. There's a C, A, R. You know. And when I learned the language, I said, oh, that's what I was looking at. Carnation. That's how the language came to me. On my first day of school, I didn't know. One little kid ran up to me and says, come on, let's go teeter-totter. Me, I said, aha, teeter-totter. Aha, teeter-totter. I ran over there and we went up and down, up and down. I knew teeter-totter. And then we they had a swing there, swing. Had a swing for the kids there. So another kid would say, come on, let's go swing. Okay, we'll go swing. And we were swinging. As I got older, I started swinging in different ways, you know. Went to record hop, different way of swinging. So it comes to you. It's if you hear it lots, you're probably going to hear it quite a few times. Like those of you that are going to camp summer to learn, you'll hear lots of words, and you'll hear them in comfort.
Could I
Any-
ask,
yeah,
could
go
I
ahead.
ask you something?
Yeah.
Is it possible for you to tell us a sentence using the words that you gave us today, just to see if I can identify them or if you can identify them? If we can identify them?
Okay. You are manongo. Kwezehns ki bombezu to the Daabaanehns. You know, you are more Kwezehns. Irrigation mines just Atikameksheng. Yeah, I guess. Give my Daabaanehns. Nimoohns, you have more men now with Daabaanehns. You know, but that's kind of the good day. Isn't chicken Mikoohns is an opposite. They're going to talk about Moozoohns. They're going to go get bargain. They're going to talk about Moozoohns. No, Moozoohns, Wesiihns are Moozoohns. Yeah. The Daabaanehns begin on Daabaanehns. How does that? Did you recognize any of those words? Anybody? Those words did you recognize?
I recognize the Moozoohns
Uh-huh.
and Daabaanehns
Uh-huh.
and Gwiiwzehns.
Kwezehns? Huh? Kwezehns? Nimoohns, I was looking out the car window. Daabaanehns, we were going by in the Daabaanehns. Saw him in the window of the Daabaanehns, little Nimoohns. Give up my Kwezehns, give me the Wesiihns school and go home. I saw a young lady walking, Kwezehns walking into the doors to go to school. Wesiihns, Moozoohns is the Wesiihns. Moozoohns is a little animal, small animal. Except I didn't see no Bineshiihns. I'll give maybe just seen where they were Wesiihns-small. That's a good idea. Bineshiihns. Me go ahead. Yeah. Bineshiihns. You know why? Back up my Bineshiihns. The term big is about. Those are ways that you can use when somebody uses those names and you recognize the words, and then you'll see, you can add on to that after. Wesiihns, Wesiihns, Daabaanehns,
Fertilization,
pluralization, yeah.
more than one.
Daabaanehns, yours. Daabaanehns, big doors. And you'll notice that the ones that are inanimate, you start and end with the word nan. And animate ones is start with the SAG. Suck. Moozoohns, suck. Okay. That's not chimigwech. Thank you.
Chimigwesh.